Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. And this is the player ratings video for Everton's 1-0 defeat against Blackburn Rovers, the second pre-season fixture of this pre-season that kicked off on Tuesday against Accrington. I've already recorded a video reacting to the game as a whole, more general thoughts about the match. This is obviously going to be more in-depth look at each 11 starting players' performances. But yeah, for more general thoughts on a disappointing game, let's be honest, not giving too much away there. Then yeah, please check out the reaction video for that. But starting straight away with probably the biggest positive I think out of the whole game, Mark Travers. Recently signed from Bournemouth as backup to Jordan Pickford. He started in goal in this game, played the full 90, and for the most part, I thought looked very, very solid. Comfortable on the ball when needed. Made a few pretty good saves, including the one from the free kick that's gone around on social media a little bit. Um, Cannot be faulted for the goal whatsoever. It was a tap in from 6 yards. I don't think anyone in their right mind could have expected him to do much more with that. And so yeah, that was probably the main positive out of the game. Really, it wasn't a game where any Everton player particularly covered themselves in glory. But I think out of them all, he can probably leave with his head held the highest. I'd say. Same can't be said for Nathan Patterson. It's yeah, the more it goes on, the more it just doesn't seem like it's ever going to really happen for him. His game, I think, since he first arrived over 3 years ago now, I don't think his game has really like moved on and developed in the way we all would have hoped. He's obviously struggled with injuries a bit. I do sympathise with him. Um, and I think attacking wise, I think he's good at being in the right position. He makes the right runs. It's just whenever he gets into the final third, it just all seems to go a little bit wrong for him. And I think we saw that quite a bit on Blackburn, quite a few wayward crosses, pullbacks to nobody, and yeah, it's frustrating for him. I'd imagine that it doesn't seem to be happening for him and working out for him. But yeah, I definitely think a right back is one of the main positions that needs to be looked at in this summer window. We're all very aware of that, I'm sure. Um, O'Brien obviously took his place at right back in the second half. He was hooked around the hour mark, I believe. Um, and after having quite a solid first half, I thought he looked even better really in the right back position. To be fair, I think he was getting forward well in the right positions. Um, and yeah, like I said, we didn't offer too much offensively, but I think he's still showing he's a more than capable right back. Um, and yeah, I guess the case could be made that you get another centre back in rather than a right back and stick with O'Brien out there based on how well he did there last season. I guess it depends on who's available. Perhaps that decision might very well come down to. Bramthwaite next to him in the first half. A decent game. I do think he's mostly at fault for the goal. If I'm brutally honest, you could argue Mikalenko's caught too high up the pitch as well. But Bramthwaite does that thing where he tries to win the ball high up the pitch, gets caught out. He's nowhere near on it. Let's be honest. And with Mikalenko out of position, Gay's having to cover on that left and just isn't in the right place at the right time, and we get caught out down that left hand side. Um, so yeah, Bramthwaite, yeah, didn't cover himself in glory for that goal. Let's be said. Um, Looks solid for the most part. After that, again, Blackburn didn't really pose too much themselves during the game, so it's quite hard to get too much of a read on Bramthwaite's defensive performance. But um, I think a key aspect for him is that he captained Everton for the whole game against Accrington. And then once Gay went off during the second half of the Blackburn game, he took the armband again, played the full 90 for both games, um, and so has had a lot of bit of time on the pitch after struggling with injury at the end of last season. But I think he made it clear when he signed his new contract that he wants to improve his leadership skills. So it's good for Moyes to be giving him the opportunity. Still only turned 23 and captaining Everton, whether it did a friendly or not, that's some pretty good going, and will hopefully help to improve his all-round game, his leadership skills, and yeah, keep that prospect of becoming England captain one day very much alive, which I more than believe he could definitely do one day. Um, but yeah, moving on from him, Mikalenko at left back didn't have the best game either. I think it's abundantly clear that we desperately need another option who can play left back. He's really the only player I think who's comfortable in that position out of the whole squad, and still more than happy for him to be our starting left back this season. But um, when he has an off day like that, it would definitely be a comfort, I think, for most fans to know that there is someone on the bench who can come in maybe for the next game and still do a solid job. Uh, so yeah, I realised I haven't actually done numbers for these at all. I've just been commenting on the thing, but yeah, it's a 7 for Travers, 6 for Patterson, Jacob Rangert to 7, Brantford a 6, and Mikalenko a 6 as well. So yeah, apologies about that. Moving into the midfield, James Garner again didn't have the best of games, was mostly uninvolved. Game kind of passed him by a little bit. It's a criticism that's been thrown at him throughout his Everton career, really, that perhaps doesn't get involved in games, in most games, as he possibly should, and has shown in other games that he can do pretty effectively. So, yeah, this is definitely not James Garner's finest hour. So yeah, 6 for him, I think, as well. With Idrissa Gueye next to him, I thought he had a much more impressive game. Obviously, as I mentioned before, he captained the team until he came off. Only really returned to training this week, I'm pretty sure. So to get 60 minutes or so out of him is definitely a good sign going into the new season. He's obviously committed to Everton for at least 1 more year, potentially 2 if we decide to exercise that option. Um, and yeah, he was mostly his familiar self, I think, during this game, fighting for every ball, winning some very important tackles for us. So yeah, another solid performance from Gay. I'll give him a 7. Moving into attacking positions, I think Dwight McNeil was another one who a lot of people had a lot of criticism for, and I can kind of see it. Didn't have the best of games. I think it's very clear that he's not the answer out on the right. He started on the right wing in both of these friendlies so far, and yeah, I think the need for a natural, comfortable right winger is all the more clear after those 2 games. Yeah, it definitely wasn't the best of games for Dwight McNeil. Set pieces left a lot to be desired as well, which is usually one of his strengths. So yeah, definitely a bit of concern there. I'm not entirely sure where he's going to fit in for us next season, if I'm honest, because you definitely need someone out on the right. I think he leaves a little bit to be desired when he starts in the middle as well. And obviously, and Dye, you'd imagine, has the left wing locked down. He did, I should note, outside a very good game indeed, even though, again, like Gay, only returns to training this week, I'm pretty sure. So I'd imagine not at full fitness, but still managed to get an hour or so out of him, and a very lively hour from him, I think, for the most part. He was definitely the one who was causing Blackburn the most problems, as he usually does. Some good dribbling here and there. I think he managed to get 1 or 2 shots off, even though we didn't really trouble the Blackburn goalkeeper too much. But yeah, a solid enough game from Ndai. He can get a 7 as well. Alcaraz in the middle had a bit of an on and off game for me. I think there were a few times where he made some good passes, some good movement, dropping deep to collect the ball and moving it on well. A couple of nice little dribbles here, but then a lot of the time he also looked quite off the pace, and again, similar to Garner, really, like, kind of just didn't leave his print on the match as much as he probably should have done. So yeah, a 6 for him, I think, and then finishing off with Beto up front, another one who really didn't get involved, didn't get an awful amount of service, to be fair, but whenever he did get the ball, his hold-up play wasn't the best, wasn't really many headers or flick-ons. Probably had our best chance of the game, where he did pretty well in the build-up, but the shot itself was very poorly executed, and yeah, it was just a flat, disappointing game all round from most of our players, to be honest. Definitely not looking up to full strength. But as I made clear in my reactions video, I don't think we should really be expecting them to yet. Still early days in having just returned to training, really, and these games are always a low intensity, low tempo affairs, and I don't really think that suits our style of play anyway. We haven't really got the best technical players, never really have done for the last few years, have we? I think we prefer it a little more when it's a bit frantic and we can move the ball a bit quicker. So yeah, I'm still not overly concerned, but as I make clear in the reactions video, I think these performances are making it even more clear which positions we need to strengthen the most, and performances of McNeil, Mikalenko, and Patterson in particular, I think will definitely hammer that point home for most people. Quick note on some of the substitutes. I thought Harrison Armstrong again came on and looked very good, very composed. I was also quite impressed by Jensen Metcalf when he came on. Obviously had a very impressive loan spell at Chesterfield last season. Armstrong did similarly very well at Derby, of course. Um, Two players are quite similar in profile, to be honest. I'd imagine at least one of them will definitely be out on loan again next season. I'd like to think we get maybe a League One loan for Metcalf, an improvement on Chesterfield, and Armstrong. I could imagine could be in a very high profile Championship club, possibly even the Premier League. Someone like Leeds or Burnley or Sunderland who have just come up if they can find a place for him in the squad. Um, but yeah, I think that pretty much sums up my thoughts there. So please leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment below, give me your ratings on all 11 players and what you thought of the substitutes who came on. Subscribe to the Toffee Boys channel for more Everton content, and we will see you in the next video. Up the Toffees.